Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. We'll start with a question on the first ever Indian state to have come up with a scheduled caste subclassification, subcategorization. Now, what's a scheduled caste? Usually, the government of India has identified certain communities, certain castes that have historically been backward socially, economically, and you could say socially and economically. Now, there is a list of these that have been put in the scheduled order, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes order 1950. So that list is called a schedule. So if I belong to a particular caste and my caste's name appears in that list, I would become a scheduled caste member. If I belong to a particular tribe and my tribe's name appears in that list, that becomes a scheduled tribe. So a schedule is a list. So when you ask people, what's your schedule for today? So what's a list of things you plan to do today? That's what it means. Okay. Now, scheduled castes are, limited. Now, who could be, there is a religious, restriction here. Only members of Hinduism, practitioners of Hinduism, Sikhism and Buddhism could be scheduled caste members. The other communities cannot have scheduled castes. Plus, when it comes to scheduled tribes, any member of any community could be, could belong to a scheduled tribe. So a scheduled tribe could be a part of any community, any religious community. But when it comes to scheduled castes, they're restricted to only three religions, that would be Hinduism, Buddhism and Sikhism. So ladies and gentlemen, having had a look at this, let's look at this. Telangana has come up with the scheduled caste subcategorization. They have come up with what? Three groups basically. The groups would be something like group 1, group 2 and group 3. Group 3. So I'll choose a bit slightly lower basically. Okay, so these three classes, three groups basically, you could say the lowest, not all castes are of equal demographics. I mean, they don't really have the same demographics. So there are some castes which have lower population than some other castes. So the number of reservations, the amount of reservation that the percentage of reservation that a particular community gets also moves between these three groups. Okay, so any which way, I wanted to tell you that this particular name, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, how it comes. Okay, so nice. This is Daniel Noboa. He has been re-elected the president of Ecuador. He is a billionaire. Okay, his papa himself also, he also runs a major company in major business conglomerate in Ecuador. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ecuador. Let me use red here. This is Ecuador. You can see here, it's the only country in the world to be named after equator. Okay, ice cream cone is what it looks like. Doesn't it look like an ice cream cone? You hold it from the bottom and you chew up, on that part basically. So, he had come to power in 2023 after the previous president was impeached. There was a runoff to succeed that guy, and this guy made it through the runoff. Plus, given his his role in everything, how he has done in the countries, in turning around the country's economy, the people have voted him back to power with a better majority for a full term this recently. So this is Daniel, and what about the choices? Chile, Uruguay, Peru, Brazil. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Peru. This is Peru, and Peru's capital, as you know, is Lima, Lima. If I would write here, Peru's president is Dina Boluarte. Okay, this is the president of Peru. Chile, this is probably the longest north-south country. And ladies and gentlemen, what you need to appreciate is that at its narrowest, it's about 65 kilometers, and its widest, it's about 370 kilometers or so. That would, widest would be here, this part, and narrowest, I think, is here, this particular part. Okay. Any which way, this is the capital, Santiago, and the president is Gabriel Boric. Gabriel Boric. This is the president of Chile. What about the Peru, Uruguay? Uruguay. This is Uruguay here. Montevideo is the capital. Montevideo. And they have an election recently where the president is, this guy called Yamandu Orsi has been elected the country's president. Yamandu Orsi. Okay. Brazil, Lula da Silva. Lula da Silva is the president. So, from there we could go, my friends, to the next one. Which country has successfully tested MK2, its indigenous laser-based directed energy weapon shooting down drones? India. Now, what exactly is this? This is what is called, directed, DEW, directed energy weapon. A laser beam is fired at incoming missiles or incoming drones or whatever enemy, aircraft or enemy aerial vehicles are. So, this directed energy, what it does is, it heats up either basically through its, intense heat. Simple, it's a laser, A laser, my friends, is a coherent beam of light. It's a condensed, condensed beam of light. Now, it carries intense heat. So, when in a particular light beam basically strikes this, let's say this is an incoming, aircraft or something, enemy aircraft, what it does is, it actually through its heat, it destroys the, the body of the incoming aircraft or incoming drone or whatever. So, either it actually renders that incapable of flying, incapable of operation, or it destroys it completely. This laser technology, directed weapon, energy weapon technology is there with very few countries. And that, my friends, is there with India. India is, this is for 5 kilometers. Now, this particular Mark 2A is for 5 kilometers. It has a range of 5 kilometers. We are developing something that could have a range of 20 kilometers, which is phenomenally, large basically. So, even if before the weapon enters our territory, sometimes on the border we could fire it basically. We could shoot it down. Now, coming to the choices, a lot of countries in the world have this weapons. When I say a lot of, I'm saying a select couple. Like, for example, the US. Okay. The US has something called the LAWS. Laser Weapons System. That's it. Laser Weapons System. China has it. China also has it, and it's called Silent Hunter. Silent Hunter. Israel has it. It's called Iron Beam. This, ladies and gentlemen, is different from Iron Dome, which is basically where missiles are fired at incoming, aircraft or drones to intercept them, destroy them. Here it's, no, sorry, I wrote again, it should be beam, my friends. Iron Beam. Yeah. Okay. And these are very difficult to be destroyed by the enemy, enemy aircraft or enemy weapon system. These kinds of laser systems are very difficult. So, this gives India a clear edge over, countries like Pakistan, any other country except for China. We are working hard to come to, on parity. We come to parity with China, but it's very difficult. China has a humongous, defense budget of $262 billion. Officially, they say 260. It could be 3 times that budget. Yeah. Fugitive Indian jeweler Mehul Choksi was arrested in Antwerp. The Antwerp is in Belgium, my friends. It's called the diamond capital of the world. It's in, he was arrested in connection with the 13,000 crore loan fraud involving Punjab National Bank. Punjab National Bank is India's second largest public sector bank. It's headed by Ashok Chandra. MD CEO is Ashok Chandra. Okay. HDFC Bank, you know, it's Sashidhar Jagdishan. Sashidhar Jagdishan. ICICI Bank, Sandeep Bakshi. I'm writing in full here. Bakshi. Axis Bank is headed by, you know, Amitabh Chaudhary. Amitabh Chaudhary. Yes Bank, where is it? Yeah. Prashant Kumar is the CEO. Prashant Kumar. What's the scam about? It's, you know, is something that we will discuss. I'll bring this question back into the next, in next week's video. And this will be the first question, and I'll explain the scam to you. It's a major scam, my friends. Oh man, it involved a lot of PNB officials as well. But otherwise, this pulling off this kind of a, you know, major scam. It's not exactly 13,000. It's 13,850 crore. Yeah. So that's a huge amount of money, my friends, almost $2 billion. Which chess player has won the freestyle chess Grand Slam recently? It's Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen, this was number 2, number 3 in the tournament. Okay. There's hardly anything else to discuss. But this freestyle is, you know, it's a series of freestyle chess events, my friends. Freestyle chess events. Like the previous one was won by Vincent Keimer in Paris. In Germany. He won it in Germany. Okay. Whereas this guy, Magnus Carlsen, has won the French event. The French event. He won the French event. So this guy won the German leg and Carlsen had won the French leg. It was also scheduled to be held in India, but unfortunately, it didn't come about. This is Rory McIlroy. Yeah. Rory McIlroy. In golf, who has won the 2025 Masters tournament and has become the 6th man to complete the career Grand Slam. So in tennis, there is something called the Grand Slam, which is when a player wins all the 4 tournaments, especially in a single year. Like, you know, the 4 Grand Slam tournaments in in tennis would be the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. Typically, the French Open, what is the first one? The Australian Open is held in January, the French Open in May, Wimbledon is in June, and of course, the last one, Australian Open, is in September. So, if a player wins all the 4, he is said to have completed career Grand Slam. It's a Grand Slam. Okay. Now, if the player also wins an Olympic medal, Olympic gold, the same player wins an Olympic gold, it's said to be the Golden Grand Slam or Golden Slam. Now, in golf also, there is this, you know, Grand Slam. So, what are the 4 tournaments here? The first one is Masters. Augusta Masters, it's called. What is it called? Augusta Masters, because it's held in a place called Augusta, which is a town in the American state of Georgia. So, Masters tournament followed by PGA Championships. Okay, PGA Championships, and then of course there is the the US Open, basically. Yeah, US PGA Golf Championship, and in the end is the Open. The Open Championship is held in the UK. The first 3 are held in the United States. In the United States. Okay. So this guy, Rory McIlroy, had won all of them this year. He's about 35, 36, my friends. Hard work can take you places. A lot of practice can take you places. This guy is a pretty good example for that. Okay, there we go, guys. Another question on weapon systems. This is about Goro. What's Goro? Goro is, before that, DRDO. DRDO is Defense Research and Development Organization. It has successfully conducted the release trials of the long-range glide bomb named Goro from the Su-30 MKI aircraft. Su is Sukhoi aircraft purchased from Russia and now made in India with Russian technology and Indian, of course. It's a joint venture. Goro. Goro is what we are, we have called it, this glide bomb. This is a glide bomb. It's more like a UAV. It's operated from, from the ground. It's 1,000 kg weapon, my friends. So it can destroy enemy aircraft, enemy ground weapon systems and all that. Okay, has a range of up to 100 kilometers and weighs 1,000 kilos. It can carry either pre-fragmented or penetration, based warheads. So it can actually, it's a kind of a bunker busting warhead. It has warhead inside, yeah, and it can destroy. It falls into the enemy, territory. It's a basically fire and forget kind of thing. Fire and forget kind of thing. Now, we have the Oscar prizes for films. We have the Nobel Prizes for a range of things. What we don't have are, what we don't have a Nobel Prize for mathematics, strictly speaking, but there is a Nobel Prize. Now, there is a very rich prize called the Breakthrough Prize. The Breakthrough Prizes have been given in the fields of recently in life sciences, fundamental physics and mathematics. These are the guys who won them. I just put them together. Way too complex for us, way too complex subjects these guys deal with. So, not for us to discuss all of them. But these are the guys who won. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about this. Physics prize was won by CERN. CERN is the French, short form for European Center for Nuclear Physics. Okay. This is a place where the most sophisticated, research and physics is done here. Okay, is done. This is a large, there is a large hadron collider which is spread across. It's a kind of a tube, is a circle, which straddles the boundaries between Switzerland and France. Okay, it's on the border. Okay, now particle physics is what they study here. Yeah, this is where they discovered the God particle, what is usually called the Higgs boson. Okay, so for all their effort, the scientists here have been given the Breakthrough Prize. This is Mario. Peru's Mario Vargas Llosa. He died recently. He was, of course, I have read him. I have read unfortunately, only one book of his. He won the 2010 Nobel Literature Prize. Nobel Literature in 2010. He is the author of a lot of books. Two I'll mention. The Time of the Hero. The Time of the Hero. This is what I have read. The Time of the Hero. I read this ages back. I mean, I think, if I remember it right, I think when I was in my class 11 or 12, I read it, which is like decades back. Okay, The Time of the Hero. This is one. Two is The Greenhouse. The Greenhouse. So, two guys. And we mentioned Peru in the first, there was a map question on Daniel Noboa. And at that time we had mentioned Peru. That's, that's where he comes from. He comes from Peru. Okay. He's dead, of course. Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos, has recently conducted an all-female space flight. 6 tourists were there. 6 tourists, including the wife of the fiancé of Jeff Bezos, Laura Sanchez. Let's not get there. Okay. The spacecraft they used was New Shepard. And this is code name NS-31. NS-31. New Shepard was a spacecraft which took this 6-member, tourist, space tourist to what is called the Kármán line. This is a boundary line, an imaginary boundary line that separates Earth from space, outer space. So this is the imaginary line at about 100 kilometers above sea level. That is where it's said to be, the atmosphere merges or the Earth opens to outer space. Kármán line. Yeah. What are these choices, man? The choices, if you look at the choices carefully, Elon Musk is the founder of a lot of companies like The Boring Company. The Boring Company, it's not the boring, like I'm bored kind of thing. It is Boring Company, it bores holes in the earth. It's actually into infrastructure and logistics. It's boring holes in the earth to make tunnels so that people could use tunnels to move between places, that's thereby decongesting cities. Okay, the Boring Company. Then SpaceX, Space Exploration Corporation. Mark Zuckerberg is a co-founder of Meta. He's also the chairman CEO of Meta. Meta owns WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, of course, Amazon. He owns Amazon, and in his personal capacity, he owns Blue Origin. Bill Gates is a co-founder of Microsoft. Coming to Warren Buffett, he is a chairman of a company called Berkshire Hathaway. It's a holding company. It owns a lot of companies. It owns shares in a lot of companies like Coca-Cola, American Express. I think in both they own about 10% of shares. So they also own companies like Fruit of the Loom, which is an innerwear company. Okay. So there we go. He's also considered the greatest stock investor of all time. This is the great Kathak exponent Kumudini Lakhia. She was she's from Gujarat. She passed away recently. She's the Padma Vibushan recipient. Remember, Padma Vibushan is the second highest award in India, just a tad below Bharat Ratna. So for civilians, in the case of civilians, the second highest award is Padma Vibushan, and she received it long before she passed away. And you should also know, my friends, that she started in 1967. Yes, 1967. She started a school called Kadamb School, Kadamb School of Dance and Music. What is it called? Kadamb School of Dance and Music. Okay. Kathak. The word Kathak comes from the word Katha, which means story. The stories of Bhagwan Sri Krishna and his Leelas. Satriya is a classical dance from Assam. What is it? Assam. So Manipuri, Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam usually is associated with Tamil Nadu. Yeah. So there we go. Which country has been elected to chair Interpol's Committee on Governance, a key body which advises the governance, the organization's leadership? It is the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is a tiny country but wields enormous influence in global politics today. Its capital is Abu Dhabi. Now, since I would have discussed this in the past as well, let me discuss Interpol. Interpol is International Criminal Police Organization. Let me repeat, International Criminal Police Organization. Okay, this International Criminal Police Organization was started in 1923. Today it's a UN body. Okay, it's a UN agency. It's headquartered in a place called Lyon in France. And its president is a guy called Ahmed Nasser Al-Raisi. Okay, and he belongs to the United Arab Emirates. He belongs to the UAE. The president belongs there. Okay, so that's a bit about the Interpol. According to the India Justice Report, which state top justice delivery in Karnataka is number 1. Okay, number 2 is Andhra Pradesh. Number 3 is Telangana. So justice delivery is about both law and order as well as the judiciary. The police and the judiciary coming together to ensure that there is speedy justice. There's pretty little for us to discuss here. Yeah. Let's go to this. Which former Supreme Court judge has been appointed as the chairperson of the 23rd Law Commission of India? The answer is mentioned here, Justice Dinesh Maheshwari. Ladies and gentlemen, the Law Commission is, today this is the 23rd one. We have had this first time in 1955. We are talking of independent India, not a law commission appointed by the British. Okay, the first law commission in independent India was set up in 1955. Today we have the 23rd one. So, what is the job of the law commission? What? To research law, the current law legal system, and to advise the government of India on legal reform. What is it? To advise the government of India on legal reform. So, pretty much again, pretty little to discuss here. Sanjeev Khanna, the current Chief Justice of India, has recommended Justice Ram Kishan Gawai or Bhushan Ram Kishan Gawai. B for Bhushan, R for Ram Kishan Gawai. Bhushan Ram Kishan Gawai is going to be the next Chief Justice of India. Okay, he is from Maharashtra, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I think again, the Supreme Court of India was set up in 1950. 1950, it has 34 judges, including one Chief Justice of India. So 33 judges plus one CGI is 34. To commemorate its 131st Foundation Day on 12th April 2025, which bank launched 34 new products and services. Punjab National Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, Punjab National Bank was established in 1894. It was established by two persons, Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai. The great Lala Lajpat Rai is the Lal of the Lal Bal Pal trio. And there is another guy called Lala Majitya. Dayal Majitya. Now, I want you to know one more thing here. Among all the banks that today exist, today are around, this is the oldest Indian bank, started with Indian capital and still in existence. So, the oldest Indian-owned, Indian capital-funded, existing bank is Punjab National Bank, India's second largest public sector bank. It's headed by Ashok Chandra. I think we mentioned this. Ashok Chandra. Canara Bank, K. Satyanarayana Raju. SBI is headed by Challa Srinivasulu Shetty. Okay, not much to discuss there. Challa Srinivasulu Shetty. Union Bank of India, A. Mani Mekhalai. Let me write in full here. Mani Mekhalai. Mani Mekhalai. Bob, Bank of Baroda is headed by Debadatta Chand. Debadatta Chand. Okay, yeah, that's fairly good. Who won the 2025 FIDE Women's World Chess Championship? This is Jensen. Wenjun. This is Zhu Wenjun of China. The runner-up was Tan. This was the winner. Okay. She is a 5-time world champion, 5-time reigning world champion. Now, one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, is this. That this championship was held in, the event was mostly held in Shanghai and some part was held in Chongqing. In some places you may not find G here, no issue. If you take a city proper or the entire urban agglomeration, this is the most populous city in the world, 3.2 crore population. Yes, this is how the UN defines city proper and all that stuff. 3.2 crore population of Chongqing. So from there, let's go to the next one. Who among the following has or have featured on the 2025 edition of Time magazine's international covers? All of them. Demi Moore, the Hollywood actress, she's considered one of the best actresses of this generation. She's of course not this generation. Yeah, current times. Serena Williams, the great tennis player. Ed Sheeran, singer par excellence. Dennis Hassabis, this is the guy you should know about. Demis won the 2014 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. In chemistry. See, when you read about these kinds of people, you kind of get inspired to do a lot more, to work harder, to learn things. Now, look at this. He is a current UK government AI advisor. Can you believe this? AI advisor. So, he is an advisor to the government of United Kingdom on artificial intelligence policies. He is also a co-founder of what? Of DeepMind, which is an artificial intelligence and neuro systems, startup owned by Google. He's a co-founder. So many things, my friends, people do. Yeah. And he's pretty young. I think he's in his 50s. The 6th edition of India-Uzbekistan joint military exercise was held at, what is the name? Dustalik. Was held at Pune. This is Uzbekistan. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a double landlocked country. Landlocked country like Kazakhstan has no access to the sea. Okay. A country that has no access to the sea is called landlocked. Like for example, we have a country like Democratic Republic of Congo, no access to the sea. It's Chad, CHAD, landlocked. Look at Afghanistan, landlocked. Look at our own, my own state, Telangana, it's landlocked. Okay, but double landlocked would mean that this country, to come to the sea, a citizen of Uzbekistan will have to cross 2 countries. Like for example, from here, Kazakhstan, Russia. We have Turkmenistan, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, or Iran us taraf. Okay. Kazakhstan or here to via China, Kyrgyzstan or Tajikistan, then China and then. You got it? Oh, that's a double landlocked country. There are only 2 such countries. One is in Europe, the other is here. This is the capital, Tashkent. This is the capital, Tashkent, Tashkent. This is where the great, freedom fighter and 2nd Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, passed away. Who is the president of, Uzbekistan? Shavkat. I'll use red here. Mirziyoyev. He's the president. Okay. So, that's about it. Vajra Prahar and Yudh Abhyas are held with United States. Mitra Shakti with Sri Lanka. Dharma Guardian with, I think with Japan. It's not come out well actually. Any which way. The headquarters and secretariat of the International Big Cat Alliance will be established in, India. And the idea behind this organization, behind this, alliance, there are not many members, but some have signed. Many have signed, but not many members are there. The idea is to conserve 7 cats. What are they? 7 cats. What are the 7 cats? I was writing this basically. Then I put them in, I copied this from some source, from this, Government of India source. But then I realized that I did not remove the hyperlinks and everything. So I'll be very frank with you guys. Yeah, you're my students. So obviously, what are the 7 big cats? Tiger, lion, snow leopard, leopard, jaguar, puma, and cheetah. So to conserve this, basically, the Government of India has come up with the International Big Cat Alliance. Of course, there are some countries that have just signed up. There are many more that are, yet to become a full-time member. But the Government of India has said that for the next 8 years, we will take care of all the expenses. No one has to supply, no one has to fund this. Olanta Humala was recently sentenced to 15 years in prison. He's a former president of Peru. Peru seems to be the highlight of this class. Yeah. Peru, he, of course, for corruption and everything, he was sentenced to jail along with his wife. Okay. Colombia's president is Gustavo Petro. Gustavo Petro. And the capital is Bogota. Bogota. Paraguay, the president is Sebastian Pena. Sorry, Sebastian Pena. No. I think I just I remembered Chile's ex-president. Pena. Yeah, Santiago Pena is the current president of Paraguay. Venezuela, you all know this guy's name, Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro. Chile, we mentioned a while ago, Gabriel Boric is the president. Gabriel Boric. Okay. The All India Institute of Medical Sciences in, Delhi, New Delhi has been ranked as the 97th best hospital in the world. So we have one hospital in the world's best, best 100 best, and it has been the world's best is Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic is in America, in Rochester, a place called Rochester, in the state of Minnesota in United States. Yeah, in fact, all the top 5 are American, basically, more or less American. Okay, identify the correct statements regarding the World Trade Organization's forecast for 25 and 26. See, these forecasts are again forecasts. All of them are right here. Like the trade in goods, merchandise trade will fall this year by 0.25%, 0.2%. North American continent is expected to see a 12.6% decline in exports. Services trade all over the world is likely to grow by 4%. The problem, my friends, is that these are just forecasts, and given what's happening, the world over, especially because of the Trumpian tariffs, these may go seriously down, not up. Okay. So, who won the 2025 IBSF World Billiard Championship held in Ireland? It is Saurav Kothari, and he defeated Pankaj Advani. Pankaj Advani has been the world champion on multiple occasions, but this is Kothari's first championship. Okay. According to the latest UNCTAD report, India is expected to remain the world's fastest growing large economy, with a growth rate of 6.5%. As I said earlier, Trumpian tariffs could change, the future, because the future is uncertain, and we do not know anything about the future. The past is something that we can talk about, we can look at, and we may have a 6x6 hindsight. But when it comes to the future, it's always uncertain, and therein lies, because we don't know anything about the future, therein lies the risk. So predicting 6.5% could be like earlier it was 7.3%, they brought it down slowly, now it's 6.5%. We don't know where it's going to go. But what should you know about the UNCTAD, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development? Let me repeat this. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. It's a UN body, as the name says, and it's headquartered in Geneva. It's headquartered in Geneva, which, as you know, is in Switzerland. The biggest lake in France is also called Lake Geneva. The biggest lake in France is named Geneva. But here we are talking of the city of Geneva in Switzerland. And UNCTAD is headed by Rebecca Greenspan. Rebecca, this is spelling, single C. Okay? Greenspan. You see, this spelling is very different. She is from Costa Rica, which is a country in Central America. Costa Rica. Okay? So, see, as I told you, all forecasts are subject to a lot of ifs and buts. So, we don't really know where it may go. That's all from me, my friends. So, thank you for being here. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.